last chance, no beating around the bush.
I don't know, I don't remember.
Blake Production.
Yo, we live, baby. So I'm basically gonna go over the Ncbtrades crypto ETF real quick. I got like 8 crypto related stock names that they all correlate to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the crypto space. What I mean by that is they're similar in price action, right? So I like to pay attention to specifically, mostly, Bitcoin, and I like to see how the price action in Bitcoin relates to these stocks. So it's been working for me over the past year. I've made some pretty decent gains on it. So it's a cool little strategy. Like I like the correlation between them. So I'm going to go over a bunch of these names here because it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. So here we have Glxy, of course, the GOAT. We have this major support line, right? And I mentioned on my story the past few weeks, like this $14 range to the $42 range. This is a massive range right now. Now, of course, we could potentially go lower, but I'm going to be explaining my bullish perspective. If we break below this support, of course, we'll be looking for large bear volume. And if that continues, then of course, we're going to go lower. But what I'm liking to see so far is that we're holding the support. So when I zoom in here, right, we have this resistance line. Why am I saying this is resistance? Is because it could potentially play it as resistance. It has been support for a long time. So what I'm looking for is we're going to come up to this range. I want to see, do we stall in this range? Because if we do, I want to see us create some sort of a bull flag-ish pattern, and then we get that move up higher. So that's what I'm looking for here in Glxy. We have our all-time high resistance at around $42 or like $46. But it's been heavy. Again, I don't want to see us just shoot all the way up into this range, because what that's going to cause is another one of these reactions, right? So I want to see us slowly consolidate higher and break through the previous resistances that we were making in the past few months, like this range, right? Like this range right here, over here. I want to slowly break up above those. And then if we can, those will be the good signs that I'm looking for in the coming weeks. So here we have Defi. We have this major trend line that's acting as resistance. We've come down 67% from the highs, and we are now starting to base again at this support line. This support was around $1.25 range, right? We kind of tried to make it back to that range. I bought in here on Defi on this day at around 155 because I thought we were potentially printing a tweezer bottom pattern. Not quite exactly, but it's pretty close, and we happen to get a very nice bounce from here. So what I want to see, right? Look how many times we love these trend lines in this name. I want to see is this trend line here just something that's holding us back while we consolidate, right? A healthy consolidation. And now we got this massive range, right? Or this massive support that has been giving us that demand from here. So we want to see if we break over this trend line, are we going to continue higher? So again, remember, these names that I'm going over, they relate to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin decides to shit the bed, these names will likely follow suit. So I'm liking the action. If you see my previous video, I like the action we're seeing in Bitcoin. That's why I want to pay attention to these names. So we have Hut here. Hut is just getting bodied. This was a very sharp pullback, right? Very sharp, down 72% from the highs. This trend line here is holding us back. I think this name, what I like about it the most is that how steep it is, right? Like in my opinion, like it's bound to make a nice bounce. So from the high to the low here, this golden pocket range, if Bitcoin wants to make that next leg, we could just end up ripping slowly up into this golden pocket range. So this $15, I want to see, are we going to use that as resistance? And that'd be a nice little trade, right? From the bottom up to this range. Are we going to end up using that, right? You could use that as to take targets there, take profits there. But I like that target. $15 from here is a doubler. I'm pretty sure that's a doubler. keep in mind, man, there's good risk reward on these names. That's why I like them. So Hive is kind of similar to Glxy in terms of we're back at a major support zone and the trend is starting to change, right? We have a higher low being printed here. I want to see us break up over this 258 resistance. We've left a gap behind too as well. This little gap that we left behind here, I want to see us eventually break up over it. If we break up over it, we want to see it act as demand, right? It's going to come up over. We want to see this happen where he acts as demand and then we go. That would be gorgeous. So Hive is another one that I'm paying attention to. We have Mara here. Mara's come back to this support range, $19.52. It was just at $80. Like, this name got bodied, man. There's, in my opinion, there's going to be some sort of mean reversion, which means it's going to make some sort of a pullback higher. How high is it going to go? We have to see, right? So I would start to look at where is the previous resistance that we've made in the past few months, right? Right here. That range right there might be a decent place to take profits at, right? If we get a bounce in the coming weeks, that looks like a pretty solid area. We have many rejections, right? We rejected it quite a few times in that period of time in December. I'd be looking for that range if we start to get that momentum coming back in. Otherwise, this trend line here that we have been kind of using as support, it might act as resistance for a little bit. So keep in mind, as we move up higher and we get into this $28, $30 range, we might get pushed down a bit, right? And we might need to create that higher low before we get to continue higher. Because a lot of these names, right, they're going to get a bounce, but it's not going to happen right away. It's not going to just moon right away. We need to change the major trend, create a higher low, and then create another one potentially, and then get that break up. So these are just a few things that I'm starting to look at and I want to pay attention to in the coming weeks. Bitfarms, this name, look at this. Buy zone. Buy zone. That's all I got to say. Buy zone. Buy zone. Like, this is a nasty falling wedge right now. We have very sharp pullback into this demand zone and I'm loving it. I think this is a pretty low-key name. Like, not many people watch it. So it might be a lagger, which is given its opportunity, right? Keep an eye on this one. All these names, in my opinion, will get some sort of reaction. It's just a matter of who's going to be the lagger, who's going to be the leader type of thing. I do think Glxy will probably be the leader. But, man, don't sleep on this name. It's in a clear range, right? From $3.77 to around $9. That's a nasty risk reward trade right there. Another doubler and another potential doubler right here. So we have coin now. Coin. Oh my goodness. This is the wrong coin. I don't want to look at this coin. We're looking at Coinbase. So here we have Coinbase, right? We flushed way below our support. So now from the highs we made, we're down around 50-60%. Think it's a crypto exchange, right? Just the amount of money, like, it's not just like Bitcoin, it's not just Ethereum. They have many other coins. Like, think about all the people who are going to be buying a bunch of different coins. So I don't know, I like Coinbase in terms of like the potential upside here. I think it's high. We have a gap above. I want to pay attention to that gap and if we're going to eventually fill it. So if we're going to come and fill this gap in this range, that'd be interesting. We're just under $200 right now. Might not be too long before we see us at that 250 range. So here we have SI. This is interesting. Like, these names are so interesting to me. Huge pullbacks. Look at this ABC correction here. So from the highs, we have an A, B, C correction. If we look at the weekly time frame, it might be a little bit easier to point out, right? From the highs, we have the A, B, C correction. Right back into a demand zone. Right back into this range, this $85 range. It might just be a matter of time before we get a bounce, right? We're already starting that bounce. We're starting that trend change. We had the low. This is a lower high compared to these ones, but we have a higher low being printed now. Are we going to push higher? Maybe test that trend line. That's where I try to look for taking some gains there. And then we have Wndr. I just went over Wndr in the past few days. I think I posted a video on Wndr yesterday, but I like this bullish candle that we've seen today. I want to see us now lift up higher, right? What I'm looking for, the main thing I'm looking for is the next leg in the trend. We have the low, high, higher low. I want to see in the coming weeks, where are we going? I want to see that higher high. If you didn't watch that previous video I made, look at that weekly volume coming in on the lows, boy. I love that. I love that. So that's something I want to pay attention to. Are we going to turn up now? So that's the breakdown. Peace.